these newfangled things any good?
We were sent a game code for Faraday Protocol and I asked if I could review this title. I was quite taken aback by the mini trailer and overall I liked the look. Sadly, the game was not for me. The game itself has only just come out with a full release, which is really nice to see. You don't always see that. And I must say, I have to applaud Red Koi Box for their commitment to creating something so different. With interesting mechanics reminiscent of titles like Antechamber, Portal and Beginner's Guide, Faraday Protocol is a first-person mystery puzzler. The game has a space-age, quasi-ancient Egypt vibe, and overall is sort of moody and spooky. Now, the things I'm not so happy with. There were a few Switch-specific elements like the controller vibration. It was way too much. Or, similarly, the game really struggled to load levels at the end or at the start of a new level, just made it really unenjoyable. But I'm sure these things could be healed over time. Mostly, which saddens me here, I found a huge jump in difficulty between levels. Sometimes all the puzzles fell in place, and others I was left in circles as the level design and mechanics were just not always so obvious. It doesn't help that the whole main map is black and gold and shiny, so you end up just getting lost in these corridors because the perspective is so weird. Sometimes games use lighting as a cue to help you kind of figure your way around, but this one did on occasion but not all the time, and so I found myself just getting lost when trying to follow that rule. The game completion sound cue was quite nice and really helpful, as sometimes I wasn't even sure when I'd finished the puzzle or not. There was also very little direction in big spaces, mixed with invisible walls, and I just got stuck a few occasions, which started me to disengage from the game. I was really taken aback by the graphics at first. There was this beautiful moment right at the start with this big main room and all these trees, and it was just a really enjoyable space to be in. And then suddenly you were locked into these levels that I'm gonna say it, I just found a bit ugly. Similarly, the owl and spider totems themselves as entities were very blocky and really stood out compared to these quite sharp and kind of marble-esque elements. It was just a little bit weird. There were a few times where I accidentally skipped exposition by triggering the next stage of the level, which did not help with my lack of investment, sadly. Overall, I was hoping this would be a more casual game with an interesting story. I found myself less and less invested in the mystery as I just had all these different difficulties. It kind of felt like I was quality assurance testing a little bit, which I've done some in the past, and so it was sad to see this from such a really polished introduction and first early levels. I thought the tutorial for this game was really great in establishing the mechanics, and then kind of left you. This is the tiniest thing, but even just an element like levels can be quite big, and the player moves really slowly, and it just made it hell to maneuver around, especially when doing jumping puzzles. There was some lack of responsiveness as well from my Pro controller, which I double checked and admittedly just made it more frustrating. The voice acting was really nice, and quite frankly one of the most interesting parts of the game, as some accents were really interesting to hear. Alongside this, music would randomly stop, making levels eerily silent, and just general bugginess made me really not enjoy my experience, I'm sad to say. I think the game and devs as a whole have a really good opportunity here to work on this game and make it more smooth, but for now, it's not for me.